How do I remain disciplined within a multidisciplinary practice? What is the relationship between discipline and focus, especially as a neurodivergent practitioner? When I thought about this, so probably like everyone here, I think most of us are neurodivergent in some way. It used to be that when I started a poem, I would obsess over this poem so much that I would physically not look or engage with any of the writing until I had finished this poem, which would be about 30 days. And I would not look anywhere else, only do this. And it was almost addictive. But as I've gone on, as you can imagine, if you do something like that, you end up in a rabbit hole. Like I literally would like come out with a poem at the end and I don't know, like the basic things were missing, if that makes sense, because I've been so absorbed in this world that I've not let anyone else in, that I was missing really basic things, you know, and like it would be really frustrating because then I would spend so much time editing just this one piece, which again I wouldn't be doing in and out. Like I wouldn't be doing it in a way that, because I just would really want to serve my like obsession and that was the only thing that mattered. And I used to measure that feeling as like, this means it's going to be good, or like this means that I'm so passionate about it. And yeah, what I do now is like, or a few years, I don't let myself do that, because I wouldn't even count it as discipline, because because yeah, it just wasn't getting me what I needed. And I think now I like force myself to come away. I will force myself to step away, do something else, watch something else, have a different conversation. I'll come back to it later. And that perspective you can't get. But I know that I'm just talking about writing here, and that must be really complex if you're talking about doing that, but for like loads of other strains of a project that are all different for it.
Sure. I think for me it's a lot of too, like, how do we create the parameters? And when is that helpful? And when is that to kind of create those boundaries within a piece of work? And when does that actually become almost restrictive or punishment sometimes? It can only be this. Yeah.
And how much do those parameters change through the process of making, right? Like I know that I was taught to not go in with a set idea of the poem, and that would work against. Were you taught the same?
No, I don't know. I'm just reacting.
Oh, yeah. I felt like there was a really big like push in poetry the time that I was getting into it, where it's like you cannot know what you're doing. I was big on free rights. I mean, I was already like that. I think probably it wasn't that helpful for me. Like, I don't know if that advice really like was that necessary for me. But anyway, I would like do free rights. I would never write everything had to be just like from the conscious of my mind, and like I could never come in with an idea. Like I always got obsessed with that. And again, that made the editing process really painful, because then I was trying to like force sense onto it later, which was like really annoying actually. So. This is
talking about discipline, I would say, you know, like I never really bought into, like I try to, because people are like, oh, you need to write every day to really show that you're a writer, you know, that kind of thing, or you need to wake up 5 o'clock in the morning. Especially, right? Like they tend to have those rules, and then really make you feel shit because you can't do it. Like what kind of life that doesn't really apply to my lifestyle, and I cannot wake up 5 o'clock in the morning to see the sunrise and feel inspired. But I think how do I don't think I am disciplined. That's what another frustration tab probably. I just feel like in comparison with others, that kind of idea with discipline, I'm not.
How much do you think that is because you are neurodivergent and you work in a different way?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
Totally.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Right now, I'm in multiple places. Even I'm talking to you, I'm also thinking about, I'm on a beanbag, thinking about my poem.
Is your poem about a bin bag?
No, but like that's the place where I feel like I'm most like productive.
Right.
Like, but then I also envision, like your brain's everywhere.
Yeah.
I have to stay with the reality with one conscious, and you actually have someone conscious
Yeah.
with you, not disciplined, and I'm not focused. But whenever I make a poem, the poem doesn't just not like I will say, right, today I will write that poem. But the poem actually stay with me for a very long time inside of me.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then the sentence or the parent phrases will come in when it comes. Yeah, like I feel like I need to talk to someone before the next line will come to me. Yeah, like things has to happen. Yeah,
Keep stimulus.
it's like I have to call my mom, or I need to boil this egg. It doesn't matter what it is. It's about an event has to happen for something to click with the poem. And I have loads of those poems. They're just waiting for
Do
that.
you write like a line and then go about your life and then add to it, or do
Yeah.
you do?
Yeah,
You're
I
one
do.
of them. Yeah.
I have a
wanna
lot of
try-
notes.
I want to try doing it that way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then
I know a lot of people who write like that.
yeah, and there was one poem I finished was actually quite spooky because I had a first. I even totally forgot about the original bit. I was starting from the free write of a workshop, and then I thought about it, and then it was like a year later. I had a dream, I wake up, and I have to write it. But because I had that conversation with my brother, and that poem come together, and then I went flip through my like notes like accidentally. I was like, oh, I wrote this.
And I had a similar thought when I got your question about discipline, and I was just like, yeah, I'm just done. And then I realized that like I'm really not. So I started writing down all the ways that I could be disciplined if I really tried. And it's like, oh, I could get really into like spirituality and use that as like guidance and blah 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 blah. But I realized that actually, I don't know if anybody else can relate to this, but I have been really disciplined with things when I have big projects on. And maybe it's to do with neurodivergence, and maybe it's me hyper-focusing. It's me obsessing over one little thing and like not leaving my bed for like 3 days and like just working on one thing. But it's led to like a serious amount of burnout
Yeah.
where I will like you were saying, just be in a hole of like this one thing, and then I'll come out of it and I'm like, I'm numb. I've used all of my serotonin and dopamine on this one project. I don't want to see my friends. I don't want to see my family.
Yeah.
I don't want to make food for myself. Like, I just want to like rot. And I'm like, I don't know how long this is going to last. So, discipline for me has been really scary, because I don't want to go back into those like depressive holes. And then I was thinking about what you were saying about basically like living your life as part of your practice. And I think that's what I have learned over the past year, that prioritizing living your life and like cooking nice meals for yourself,
Oh God, yeah.
you know, and like making sure that you're getting like your 3 meals a day, that should be the discipline, and then everything else kind of like falls into place a little bit more, because you're nourished yourself, like you've filled up like a Sims character, you filled up all the bars, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you can offer this thing, then you can like give to your practice. And for me, I think that's the way that works best.
Yeah.
And like
That would have been eyes.
it's a balance between only coming to your practice when you're in a good place, and then also forcing yourself to come to your practice. Like there's a sweet spot in between, I think, that I have been messing around with over the past year, of like forcing myself to make when there's no ideas and when like it's not necessarily going to fill me with joy, and just being like, just get something out. And yeah, I liked what you were saying about not coming in with an idea when it comes to my mouth, which obviously isn't now. I want to explore that more because with design, the way that I've been taught, you have to know everything to a T. Free to play.
Yeah.
Play
Once
is
you've got the
important.
brief, within the brief.
It's not even with the brief, but like if I'm coming down and I'm making something, I need to know mechanically how it's going to fit together,
Yeah.
like physically.
Yeah.
And I need to have like my pattern to an extent actually laid out in front of me. So it's a bit more like you have to know,
Yeah.
and that has to have meaning, and you have to create a portfolio of all of your ideas and how you got there, and it's a whole tip.
Besides the kind of nourish, I was also thinking very much about the environment of where you are and how much the environment kind of influences how you feel inside as well. Kind of this relationship about how you feel inside and how the environment is, and how you make the environment, but also how the environment makes you feel. And I moved into a new place very recently, and I was so hyper focused actually, into making a nice environment so that I could start working, and just feeling well, basically. And the first day that I managed to have like a nice space, I was just like so happy. I was just so happy, and I was like, okay, it smells nice, everything is like into place, and then suddenly I could focus more, like concentrate more, just because things were kind of in their own place, and I didn't have like things around that would distract me. I'm like, oh, I have to move, I have to put that here, this has to be done. So I've been thinking a lot about how also that kind of helps to focus and concentrate and be disciplined, let's say. Yeah.
I found this very topical for my life moment, and it sounds like everyone else is similar. And I would also make another grand sweeping statement that you might relate to, which is I have such a problem with authority figures in my life. And in order to be the authority figure in my own life, there's so much tension. And Maz really saw me through this. Like, I started my PhD a year and a half ago. Year one was that type of working. You wake up, you don't eat, you're sucking on an empty vape, and like, yeah. Year two, I thought I was Gwyneth Paltrow, like wake up 6 a.m., skincare, workout, work, but I was really Patrick Bateman, like I was fucking American Psycho. And then I had a breakdown, and now it's like, I've had to make so many choices, like giving myself, like I have like an all black capsule wardrobe so I don't have to think about what I wear on work days. No. Stop the uranium mining now. As CEO of Apple, I declare. Yeah, and just like, I don't know, I've had some chats with family recently where they're telling me about how again, that hyper-focus, that word is used a lot, how that is hurting my relationships. And, you know, I think that we talk a lot about, like, being addicted to work. And I was thinking about it, like, I'm not present enough to process any of my accomplishments. I keep chasing the high of the next project. And then it happens and it's not good enough. And it's like, I feel nothing. And I think part of the discipline I'm trying to put in is, like, I guess processing space. Because right now I feel like I'm not present. I'm taking life for granted. And I'm taking my own time for granted. Because I'm pouring all of this into something without really knowing why. So yeah, I mean, part of the discipline I'm trying to bring in is space. Yeah, and I think that's like something I wish I had from the start, but I think I had to do all of those things and see what doesn't work. Like, I'm the kind of person that has to touch the stove to know what's hot, you know? And so, gotta find a new way. Yeah.